Forbidden Bible Gods of Knowledge. In this ongoing series on the gods of the Bible, we will discuss who these gods are, where they come from, and how they influence the Bible. In the Baal cycle war with death throughout the Bible, there are numerous references to other gods that tempt and sway the children of Israel away from the God of Israel. Baal was frustrated that he lived with his parents and lacked a palace of his own, so Baal bribed the other gods to force El to give him a palace. As we previously discussed in the second major section of the Baal cycle, Baal struggled to be recognized as the king of the earth. They constructed the high places of Baal in order to burn their children in the fire as sacrifices to Baal as a result of Baal's fight with the god of death, something I did not order, mention, or even consider. Child sacrifice was so common in ancient Israel that the valley of Hinnom outside of Jerusalem turned into a portal to Gehenna, the biblical pit of fire. Baal is the Canaanite god of the earth and one of the main foes of the God of Israel in the Bible. Baal worship was widespread in ancient Israel. Paul was one of the religious leaders who demanded child sacrifice and Baal, similar to how the Bible had Genesis. The ancient Canaanites had the Baal cycle, but what is the Baal cycle? From the time of King Solomon, who built temples for the other gods on the Mount of Olives, worship in Israel became prominent and persisted for about 400 years. In the mythic age of the gods, the Baal cycle tells the tale of how Baal came to rule the earth. In our earlier episodes, we discussed how Baal battled the despotic sea deity for supremacy and how Baal battled to be accepted as king despite living with his parents. The third and last major section of the Baal cycle starts with the Baal boasting that he finally got his own palace and could leave his parents' house. He was happy to have his royal court and could now be recognized as the king, a title he had taken from the previous king of the earth but could not enforce. He boasted loudly that nobody could challenge him, and if they tried, he would send word to Em, the god of death, to deal with them. Baal also boasted that he would send word to Baal because he wasn't expecting Em's response. Em said that he was offended by Baal, and he threatened to destroy the heavens, destroy Baal, and eat his remains like a carrion bird. With the response of Mop, Baal is left shaken and terrified. Baal is now truly terrified. Send Em another messenger pleading with Em to set aside his anger and that he will be his eternal servant, pleasing Em greatly with a brief respite. Baal quickly traveled to the house of El, the supreme god of the Canaanite pantheon. B pleads to El that his new palace is about to be taken over by Em. Baal next went to the gods Shagar and Itham, who are the gods of cattle and sheep, to hold a banquet to Em. Mot sent a messenger to El's house and demanded to know where Baal was. El did not know where Baal was, nor did El know what was going on. Baal saw council of shapes, the Sioux goddess, who advised Baal to find a fake lookalike to be slain by Em and to trick the gods to believe that he is dead. She then promised him if he were to do this she would bury the body and hide it beneath the earth. Baal went out into the wild and found a hare and a human child. He dressed a child in his clothes and offered them to Em to trick him into thinking it was him. The following day, a messenger from the gods went to the palace of El and informed El that while searching for Baal, they had instead discovered his body at the brink of a riverbed. El fell off his throne, poured dust on his head, shaved his beard, and dressed in sackcloth and mourning. After hearing the news, Anna, Baal's sister and consort, went to the assembly of gods and informed the person who had initially turned Baal into king that Baal had died. Aat and her family were happy because they had sided with Mup. Baal all attempted to be replaced by El and Era, but they were unsuccessful in doing so. Angered by their inability to locate Baal's shade anywhere, Anna and Grief traveled to Em's realm's netherworld. When they asked Em about it, he claimed to have no idea where Baal was and that he had scoured his realm but had been unable to locate him. Em then informs Anna that he discovered a Baal at the entrance to his territory and that he afterwards consumed the Baal's shade. Having run out of patience, he pulled out his blade and charged Mo, dismembering him, crushing him, and flinging his remains to the carrying birds. Annette returns to El and declares her victory, saying that Em is dead and has been killed. However, El had a vision that showed Baal to be alive, and after Baal revealed that he was alive, Em, the god who had been killed, resurrected himself and challenged Baal once more. However, Em soon realized that the gods had begun to turn against him. Observing this, Em made the decision to concede the battle and accept Baal's kingdom for the time being. M's recognition of Baal's kingship. The Baal cycle comes to an end. Those who have read the Bible may have noticed some of the gods listed in it that also appear in it. The Bible has all of the letters B, L, and M. Paul discovers his place as the enemy of the God of Israel. Paul can alternatively be rendered as Lord El, the supreme kite's collective noun. The general term for God can be translated as God, and the word M can be interpreted as death. The similarities between Baal and Baal M go beyond simple analogies, such as how Baal sacrificed a cow and a child to deceive him, and how Baal now demands the sacrifice of a child for him. As a result of the widespread practice of child sacrifice in ancient Israel, the Valley of Hinnom became a portal to the pit of fire. El is also used in the Bible as a general term at various points in time. Although El and the God of Israel cannot be reconciled if only the third part of the Baal cycle is taken into account, individuals have mistaken El for the God of Israel. El is unaware of the events taking place in his own world and is unaware that he was duped into believing the Baal had been murdered. El also resides in the material world, covering his head in dust, donning sackcloth, and shaving his beard out of sorrow over the loss of the Baal. Ella is likewise unable to bring back Baal because only M has the ability to bring back the dead. The Baal cycle also shows that there is no afterlife, only darkness, and that even the gods become shades or shadow figures, which are hollow replicas of them with no memory or ability to exert authority. This cannot be compared to the deity of Israel. Do you not know that I am everywhere in heaven and on earth, unlike the God of Israel, who knows everything and has nothing hidden from him? I am a God who is everywhere, not just in one location. No one can hide from me. Additionally, although the concept of the Canaanite afterlife is similar to that of the Jewish concept of Shah, the God of Israel cannot be located on this planet according to the rabbinic traditions because he is outside of the universe. As previously mentioned, Mo can be translated as death, but the true meaning of Hosea can only be understood when translating the rest of the passage. Plague can be translated to doer in kingdom mythology. Shah was a place of holding until the day of judgment and was always meant to be temporary. The last god, M, can also be found in the Bible. I shall ransom them from the power of Shah, and I shall redeem them from death. With this additional context, Dur is Mo's servant. A fresh interpretation of Hosea M, where what is happening in Hosea is that the God of Israel is banning M from Shah, which would be the equivalent of his kingdom in the Baal cycle, and he is redeeming the lost souls away from M. I will ransom them from the power of Sheol, and I will redeem them from M. Last but not least, the God of Israel is mocking Mo by saying, "Where's your servant? Where's your power to combat me?" in contrast to Baal, who had to hide from Mo's power and depend on borrowed power and the child's murder to win. The God of Israel does not require outside assistance and does not require human sacrifice to defeat the God of death. He appeared from Tun, and the earth was filled with his praises. His glory filled the heavens, and he covered the earth with his glory. He traveled to Bur, where Sheth followed in his footsteps, and in fact assumed control of the Bur, depriving M of his authority and power. Why would people sacrifice their own children to a God who is obviously too weak to rule? Do people still sacrifice children to Baal today? Does a Baal still exist? Do people still sacrifice their children in a manner similar to how a Baal sacrificed a child? Let me know in the comments section below.